TillDeafInfo.com. It's your man Kil.
And Dr. Roz.
Back Mel Monday, so you know it's going to be fun. She does the fabulous, I do the fun. So, we're going to jump right into it. Now, number one, no knock on the brother. I think he's doing great things and all that other stuff. I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not. But I think he's doing his thing out there in Hollywood. You know, I just always say, hey, y'all enjoy the Madea movies. I don't, but obviously some people do, because I called the movie the other day, trying to go to the movies in like 3 theaters. We're all for Madea's.
No, really?
800 family reunion. I don't even know what the movie is. But one thing that I do give him props for is the whole 80-20 rule that he brought up in Why'd I Get Married Part 1. And
let's see those movies of his.
I like those. I like those.
Yeah.
I like those. And to me, if you have daughters, you gotta love Daddy's Little Girl. I could watch Daddy's Little Girl. It was on BET the other night.
Yeah, that's.
I can watch that, especially if you have daughters. You have to love that movie. So I love his serious movies. I just don't love the Madeas and all that.
I used to, but I think I've grown. I mean, I'm not that audience anymore. I think I've grown.
So, but no knock to the people who do.
Yeah.
Love Tyler Perry all day. Yeah. But that 80-20 rule, I think, is so real. Like, I think that's a great thing to bring up, because it seems like that's what happens. You know, a lot of people have 80% of what they want out of their marriage, you know, but that last 20 that either spouse can't give is worth so much that they'll go out and cheat, they'll go out, or they'll leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother topic that Roz and I are going to be talking about. What's better, you know, would you rather be cheated on or left? You know, but that's another day. But it just really brings up that whole thing of like, wow, you know, why can't people just give 100? You know, because if people are really seriously gonna leave over 20%, that 20% gotta be a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you really think about that, and why can't
it's life changing?
Yeah, and why can't our spouses give us that 20% of what's missing? I think number one, the spouse may not know the 20% is even missing. Like, I think because I'm a talker, and really,
I'm a talker.
So it kind of makes sense to us, but I think a lot of people and a lot of marriages don't talk. You know, a lot of times it literally is just not talking. So you really may never know you're not even giving that 20%. I think that's one of the things I just feel is so unfair in marriages. And men, we do it a lot towards women, and women do it towards men, but I think men do it a lot.
I think men more, because you guys don't open up.
Is that we don't even give you a chance to solve the problem, which I think is wrong. You know, I think that's wrong, that if there's something wrong, or if your wife isn't giving you that 20%, for you not to tell her and to go out and just do what you want to do, I just think that's wrong. I mean, that's your wife. You at least, to me, if you don't owe her anything else, you at least owe her the opportunity to make a change. It's like coming to work and your boss saying, I don't like how you do this, so you're fired. You would be like, shocked.
Don't get no warning first.
Yeah, like, I don't, you know, you're not going to give me a chance to at least fix it before you fire me. So, man, I just think that if you know that your spouse isn't giving you something you've asked for, not giving you something you want, or they're not giving you that 20%, you gotta give them at least the opportunity to try to get that to you, you know, and things like that. And because like we said before,
it was even interesting that you even mentioned that, because that whole chance factor really isn't there. And it's so true about women. If a brother will go out and cheat, we will give you guys the opportunity to rectify the problem. Guys, I've heard so many men say, if my wife cheat, I'm done. They're gone. There is no second chance. And that's unfair. That's unfair.
Nah, I mean, it is, but that's one of the double standards.
Yeah,
and I think it's just...
But it's not right.
But you know what? I think it just goes back to the reason why I think I think it's how men and women view sex. Mm-hmm. See, I think women kind of understand that men, a lot of times when we cheat, we just view sex as it's just an action.
Just physical, yeah.
There's no love involved.
Yeah.
So I think y'all can forgive more, because it's just like he was just hitting it. He's not in love with her, or whatever like that. I think for men, we know what sex is for y'all. And for a lot of times, it deals with love, it deals with emotion, it deals with those things. So I think a lot of times, it's a lot harder for a woman to break off an affair
But why
than
not
for a
look
man.
at yourself and figure out, dang, I must not have been on point for my wife to feel like she got to go get it elsewhere. When you know that about women, and I'm not saying him, guys, I know I'm like all in, but you know, when you know that, you know, sex is more this emotional thing for us, why take it from the standpoint of, oh, I'm done with that? Why not look at yourself and be like, dang, what was I not doing?
No, I mean, I think
most men won't.
I think we both have to do that. I'm trying to focus on how we can start giving 100%, because we've gotten questions in the past, and I wrote about this on this blog in the past about, can one person fulfill all your needs? Because a lot of times people feel like, there was a time I was dating 4 different chicks at once, and it was kind of like, I kind of felt like all 4 of them together would make a good person. But I know that one person can satisfy your every need. Yeah. It's just about, does that one person choose to satisfy your every need? Because I think what happens is that 80% probably comes natural to us. So a lot of it's like Chris Rock said, and I love Chris Rock to death. He was like, your wife will take care of you, but she ain't gonna entertain you. You know what I mean? So I think
that's a great point.
A woman, from y'all standpoint, most women are gonna be great nurturers. They're gonna be great mothers. They're gonna be great wives. They're gonna take care of you. You're sick. Here's your medicine. All of those things. But I think that part comes natural. Yeah. So that's the 80% that comes natural. It's that 20% that doesn't come natural, that a lot of people aren't willing to shift to move themselves into, to make sure that their spouse is getting 100%. And maybe whatever a woman finds about a man's 80% may be natural for us, But it's that 20% that's just not natural for us. And both spouses are just, I guess, almost in a way saying, I'm not willing to bend, or I'm not willing to move, or I'm not willing to grow in that 20% area, to make you happy. But I know that one person can satisfy all your needs. Yeah, and I think
but you got to talk about it.
Right, but I think that that's one of the problems, is that we don't think they can.
Yeah.
So we feel like we have to go out. I think you said a viewer,
we give up.
Now I'm on a viewer too. A follower says something like, my husband's great, but I have to cheat on him because
to stay in
the marriage. And it's kind of just like, that's that whole.
That has really stayed with me.
Yeah, like, but that's that whole profound. that's that 80-20 thing again. Yeah. Like, my husband is this 80, but he don't give me this 20. So I have to, in order to stay here, I got to get my 20 somewhere else to just stay here.
Because you will.
Right. So this week for Male Mondays, I guess it ain't that fun, because I'm challenging men and women to try to really fun. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm glad Roz is having fun. to challenge y'all to try to give your spouse that 100%, because a lot of times we have to divorce-proof our marriages. Nobody else is going to do that. It's the same thing for folk who live out on coastlines and in Miami. When they hear a storm is coming, they get their boards, they get their nails, they start hammering it up, and they understand what's coming. And in order to protect our home, I have to do this. I'm sure nobody feels like doing it, but it's like, if we want to protect our home, we have to do this. I don't feel like cleaning my house half the time, let alone nailing boards up, and then I got to take them off, and then I know I got to do it again. But the moral of the story is, if I want to keep my house, this is what we have to do. Yeah. So it's the same thing with our marriages. We have to divorce-proof our marriages. Most people, if we're honest with each other, we know what we're not giving our spouse. Yeah. And if we don't know what we're not giving them, we know what they need.
Yeah, that's why I had to check myself. Because I wasn't. I mean, I think you brought it to my attention, because you asked me, I'm the greatest wife there is, but you made me think about when my husband said the same thing.
Right.
And then I had to think about, I couldn't rightfully be like, of course.
Right.
Because I'm not sure.
Right. I just think a lot of times, and once you're married, and especially when you have kids, there's so much coming at you. Yeah. So we got to kind of have to learn how to use our time in a better way. We have to learn how. That's why, to be honest, it's laziness. But a lot of it is just, I'm like, Nay, you ain't going to be in 50 things at once. She's not. She can do ballet. She's going to do ballet. Then she can do soccer. Okay, because she can do soccer. Because I know parents who are out here traveling up and down 95 for soccer games for 5-year-olds. Really? Nah, not going to happen. Because all that energy, I could be giving to my spouse.
You can.
I think when we
developing your family.
Right. I think when we have kids, it's like here goes all our energy into the kids. The kids do 50 things all at the same time. But then you find out that your relationship is kind of moving away. And the thing is, I think we think that these things are making our kids happy. See, that's fine. Those things make your kids happy, but it doesn't give your kids joy. See, joy is there whenever you have, no matter what's going on. Happiness is just based off of the circumstance.
Yeah.
So the thing is I always tell,
preach.
oh yeah, I do my thing.
Minister Kil.
Nah, don't say that. So at the end of the day,
but for real, let's stop right there. I think you need to repeat that.
That joy is something that is there no matter what's going on in your life. Happiness is only based off of the circumstance. So at the end of the day, if your kid is happy because he's in basketball, when basketball ends, now he's not happy. Yeah. So now football starts. You put him in football. Now he's happy again. Football ends. Now he's not. Now big. So all I'm saying is that I think a lot of times we get caught up in that. But at the end of the day, if you put that time into your marriage, when kids see a happy mother and father, see, that's when the joy comes. That's when it doesn't matter if I'm not in basketball. I'm still joyful. Yeah. It doesn't happen if I'm not in ballet. I'm still joyful.
We should be creating joy and not happiness.
Right. We pour so much into our kids, we stop pouring into us. Or we only pour into us once a week. But we pour into our kids every day. And eventually that once a week is going to, as we get older and we get less energy and our kids get more energy, that once a week becomes once a month, once every 6 months, once a year. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm like, Nate can enjoy things, but it's going to be at a time, you know, because I don't want to be expending so much energy into her that I'm not expending it in to T. Yeah. You know, and at the end of the day, I don't want to be that father who's like, yo, go play soccer, you're going to get a scholarship. Because, I mean, really, how many kids playing soccer are really going to get a scholarship? So at the end of the day, I'm just saying that we have to take some of this time, and I know it's time is so valuable. You know, and we don't have a lot of it. And that's why I'm saying you've got to find that time to figure out how I can bend and mold to give my spouse that 20% that doesn't come natural. So to make sure, you know, that our marriage is tight first. I read this in Essence once, and Will Smith was saying... You
read Essence?
Nah, somebody put me onto it. So... Will Smith was saying something about if your airplane was going down, the oxygen mask came out. Who do you take care of first?
You have to take care of yourself first.
My initial answer was my kid.
Yeah,
and that's what Jada said too. But Will was like, nah, you gotta take care of yourself first. Because if you take care of the kid, then you're gonna pass out. Now the kids, he ain't got who gonna take care of him.
Yeah.
So you gotta take care of yourself first. Then you can take care of your kids. And I think a lot of times what happens in our marriages is we're taking care of our kids and not taking care of ourselves. We've got to take care of our marriage because that's the number one priority. And trust me, if your marriage is good and and I didn't say perfect, I didn't say the best thing since sliced bread, but if your marriage is good and it's a loving household, it's a fun household, trust me, your kids will have joy. They won't have to join no extra curricular activity at all, and your kids will have joy. They'll be happy, they'll be smiling, there'll be laughs, there'll be jokes.
Because truthfully what they want is the time with you,
right?
Not really all this other time doing other stuff. And extracurricular activities are great, don't get us wrong,
but I know a lot of parents who drop their kids off and go do their thing, you know, and the kid is looking up like, where's my mom, where's my dad? But it's like, oh no, that's mommy shopping time. That's when I go shopping while you're here for 2 hours playing soccer with your friends. And like you said, a lot of time the kids just want to spend that time with you, even if they're doing the activity. So my challenge to all married folk out there, find out what that 20% that doesn't come natural, and let's figure out a way how to do it.
And if your spouse doesn't know, keep coming back to the table. Keep talking about it. One conversation is not enough, people.
Right. I used to tell Tanya all the time, it's your job to give me an answer. So if you say you don't know, that's cool. You got a week to think of it, figure something out. Like, because I want to fix this. I want to make this the best it can be. And the only way I can make it the best it could be, I can't get better off I don't know.
Yeah.
I need an answer, you know, and the same thing goes for me. So that's the challenge for this week. Figure out what you don't do. That 20% that doesn't come natural, figure out what you can do, how to do it. Make your spouse happy.
Let's get to that 100, y'all.
Let's make it do. I messed up. I was going to say, I don't know what I was going to Let's make it happen.
I was going to say, let's make it do what it do.
Yeah, I don't know. So
it's Dr. Roz, guys.
And Kil. Another Mail Mondays. Keep it live. TillDeafInfo.com.